Adam with Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1954 Smith Corona Silent Super vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. Above that are the margins. This is your left margin. Just set this around 2 or 3, maybe even 5, and the right one around 70-ish. It's about the length of a page, and you want to make sure they're in between these two paper fingers or else you'll get stuck on them. This is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. And this is the paper bail that sits on top. It's got 3 adjustable rollers, and that's when you know you're dealing with a luxury Smith Corona. It's got 3 rollers, paper bail, plus the 2 fingers to help support that page for a nice print. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. Hit this line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip the switch back, it skips 2. Flip it back 1 more, it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep it on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. I switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. Flip that all the way down. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. Put it in the middle. It doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. You put it up top. It prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down to red. Beautiful typing machine. This is one of the best typewriters ever made. The Silent Super is the full upgrade to this model. You have the Sterling clipper. Well, the clipper is the lowest, and then the Sterling, and then the Silent. And you can also get a Super, and then the Silent Super is the top. Obviously, it's not silent. It's just a little quieter than the other models. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward, and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easier, load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. Some of the Silent Super models have the 1 key. This one does not. I don't know when they end. Some of the same years will have the 1 key and some of them don't. I don't know why they did that. What else is different? I think that's it. That's the only difference. Some the colors are different on some of them. We're gonna put this down for now. Shift on each side and the shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the left side, works good. Tab on the right. Tab set on 10 space intervals. We're going to clear all those by hitting the tab button and hitting CL on each one of those. And then you check it. And I always like to set one somewhere in the middle by hitting the set button, so that way when you hit that tab button, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. Below that is the MR, stands for margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, it blocks you from printing unless you hit that MR button, and then it will allow you to go all the way to the end or until you get stuck on that paper finger. Open the hood, all the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling to the right if you want to switch that direction. So it's pulling clockwise to the right. You just flip this switch up above the backspace here. It'll pull counterclockwise to the left. And we're going to switch that back to the right. So we want that going in. And by the way, that's what I was going to say. So if you don't have a 1 key on your typewriter, which most typewriters do not, only fancy ones have a 1 key. So instead of using the 1 key, you use the L, the lowercase L will print the 1. And exclamation point is capital 8, which is the apostrophe, and then you backspace and then do a period. So that's how you do the 1s and the exclamation points on any typewriter. But the fancy ones do have the 1 and exclamation point key, and they'll also have a plus. Some of them will have a plus and equal sign. This one does not. It's just got the basic typewriter key setup. On the right side of the carriage is the carriage release. It's got the nice metal ones. The later models will have the hard plastic ones that break all the time, and they don't make them anymore, so I have 3D printed them, and I sell those and they're available in my shop. This is the escapement throwout or carriage lock that you push it up, it'll lock the carriage in the middle so it doesn't damage the escapement, which is the gear that allows the carriage to move 1 space at a time. We're gonna pull that page out. I think we already discussed the paper release, so I'm not gonna go over that again. Carriage release on the left, super smooth. Everything about this thing is smooth. If you're used to typing on Smith Coronas, this is a super upgrade. If you haven't used the Silent Super, it's super smooth. It's a luxury typewriter. It's one of the best typewriters ever made. Pull this knob out here. It'll disable the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it in, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. Same concept on the inside here. There's a lever that you push down. It disables the spacing. You push it up, you get the clicks. And the last function is the page gauge. On the inside of the Platen is a set and end. You want to set it below the 11, I think right about here on this one. And then you load the page right there, and then once you start getting close to the end of the page, it'll start warning you. That's 2 inches on the left on the end, 1.5, 1, and then that's the end right there. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.